My name is Tim Hubbell. My wife and I bought property about 2.5 years ago here in Amelia.
That one's a mixed breed. That's a Rhode Island Red.
Rhode Island, yeah.
The one that just went in is a Rhode Island Red. Her name's Red. That one's an Arcana, and so is that one back there.
Permaculture is kind of a philosophy and a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's actually, there's design elements. And so as far as this property, we bought it about 2.5 years ago. My intention is to retire here. I put all this stuff in this year, so we'll see. This is a dead great plant. But I've been an organic gardener for about 30 years. Now this might be... I grew up in Anderson. Then we moved to Texas. My family moved to Texas just for a job one time. And I moved back because didn't enjoy the weather there. I've always worked in research. This is a weed, but it's also autumn olive.
Ooh,
I work on a flow cytometer. Basically, it's a service job, and people come to us with cells they need to sort. I was kind of more like a classical biochemist, and then the market for biochemists kind of dried up because we had these, different technologies, and immunology was more important than biochemistry. And so flow cytometry is very connected to immunology. I really like the outdoors and nature, and I'd be more of a naturalist than like a research scientist if I had my druthers. My grandmother always had a garden, and so I used to watch her. I enjoy eating, and I enjoy contributing to, the health and happiness of people. Nothing like a good tomato, makes you happy.
Sure.
I just think it's, I think human beings are designed to live in a garden, I'm happiest there. Yeah.
Like when did they go in?
I think, because I'm a biologist, I think of everything as like genetic material. Yeah, this is one of these revival chestnut trees, and it's an actual full-blooded chestnut where they took the few remaining chestnuts and bred them. My understanding of permaculture, it is a design philosophy of land use that is sustainable, and not only that, it builds information into the system, and it builds complexity into the system, any system you choose, and it builds, it increases the resource base, because after you have a permaculture plot, whatever plot of land you decide to do permaculture on, you increase the fertility, the productivity, because of the way you use the land. For me, it's satisfying because a lot of things that are waste are really, it's great stuff.
Right.
And it is, sustainable, and more than that, it builds vitality and strength and richness. It's nature plus intelligence. Most of the chickens are
in the backfield.
In the back because it's free range. So
yeah, you can kind of see them under the pine tree back there. They
like the permaculture design philosophy. You have kind of concentric circles around your dwelling. Chickens take a lot of time, and so it's close to the house. I've planted some nut trees way back there, far away from the house, and they don't have much maintenance, and you don't very often pick nuts or whatever. So I planted some frost-tolerant pecans, and those are big trees, and I'll be lucky if I see the nuts. It takes like 15 years to get pecan nuts. I planted a lot of hazelnuts, and hazelnuts can produce after like 4 years. So I'm planting a lot of hazelnuts in a can. And she did some research, and she said, you know what, if we only had a sassafras tree we can make our own. I said, we have a sassafras tree.
Yeah.
And
Right here.
in 5 acres, I intend to pack this with as many different types of plants as I can. And so the idea here is to have like a food forest. Tomatoes, some of those are like supersonic and beefsteak, and some different kind of cherry tomatoes. We're going to get
Good question.
enough, you know, I don't know. We'll find out.
How
Hopefully.
much is too much kiwi?
Yeah, I mean, food is beautiful, and the way people interact with food, and just to have fun and fellowship, because we have, you know, beautiful strawberries or whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of, you know, food security goes hand in hand with the idea of permaculture. My goal is to help people, you know, maybe have their own like little plots somewhere where they can experience, you know, gain some experience, and then when they do own land somewhere down the line, they'll know what to do. They'll have people to help them. I mean, there's people with tons of, you know, farming experience and equipment and stuff, and I think if people work together a little bit, we can make this area, you know, a different kind of thing.